Began to embrace these things that opposed her childhood preferences. Wanting to embrace these qualities while keeping her boyish nature, she finds herself asking, what if I wanted to be kikay? Takpan natin si Erin.
So, from what Sir has said, I grew up as a tomboy, and I was never really concerned with being ladylike, and dare I say, I grew up being not like other girls. So, despite my relatives insisting on gifting me Barbies, I would much rather prefer to play with my brother's Nerf guns or play with his Beyblades. And then, speaking of my brother, I would often roughhouse with him because we were really into WWE. And so we have Exhibit A. And then of course we also have Exhibit B. Medyo isa lang yung move na alam ko, sinasakal ko lang siya. Pero in the second video, I was wearing a purple dress. And from what I've told you so far, it's obvious that the purple dress wasn't my idea. It was actually my mom's. And like most moms, my mom got joy out of dressing me up. So for the majority of my childhood, we would host Halloween parties yearly. And for the first few of my Halloweens, my mom would choose my outfits for me. So in 2009, I was a fairy. And then, of course, in 2010, I was a princess. And then in 2011, I was a pop star. Or maybe a rock star, but I think it was like a princess and then a popper kind of thing. So, those were my costumes for like 3 years. So, in 2012, however, there was a big change. And aside from everyone saying that the world was going to end in 2012, the biggest thing that happened to me in 2012 was that I finally got to choose my own costume. And lo and behold, I chose to be this, a soldier. And I honestly don't remember why, but judging from the picture, I seem to be very proud and also very serious about this decision. So this eventually spiraled into something more of like an obsession. I became obsessed with someone who is arguably the greatest soldier the world will ever see, and that is none other than Captain America. Balik lang natin saglit kasi malakas yung music. So my wardrobe consisted of entirely like Captain America stuff. I had a Captain America cap, a Captain America jacket, a Captain America shirt, even my socks were Captain America. And basically my entire personality revolved around being a Captain America fan. So of course, I also went to Halloween as Captain America. And this was at a Halloween event at SM, and they were giving out candies to kids. And along with candies, they were also giving out those stamps that come with candies, or sometimes they're bubbles or pens. But basically, they came in blue and pink. So when it was my turn to receive the candies and the stamps, they were already handing me the blue one, because obviously I was wearing a Captain America costume. But then, I told them, babae ako. But then, I also took the blue one anyway, because why shouldn't I take the blue one if I wanted the blue one? And honestly, what a power move for little Erin, because for some reason, even if I didn't have a concept of gender expression at that age, I found myself wanting to say or wanting to clarify that yes, I'm a girl, yes, I'm dressed as Captain America, yes, I will take the blue one anyway. Which leads me to the next question. Okay, anyway, why is blue for boys and pink for girls? Sorry. Why is blue for boys and pink for girls? Actually, color association based on gender only started around the mid-19th century, and before that, all children actually wore white dresses, regardless of whether you were a boy or a girl. As long as you were a baby, you would wear a white dress. But in June of 1918, Earnshaw's Infants Department released a publication stating that The generally accepted rule is pink for the boys and blue for the girls. The reason is that pink, being the more decided and strong color, is more suitable for the boy, while blue, which is more delicate and dainty, is prettier for the girl. So actually, during that time, pink was the masculine color, and that was because it was a watered down version of the color red, which was associated with power. The change to pink for girls and blue for boys actually only happened after World War II, and it was heavily associated with Dwight Eisenhower's First Lady, Mamie Eisenhower. And that was because she was always seen wearing the color pink. And it was then, during her time, that the color pink started to be associated with someone that was ladylike. And at the time, newspapers actually referred to the color as Mamie Pink. Additionally, pink and blue designations were actually more of a marketing strategy rather than something being tied to gender. And that actually came from the development of ultrasound technology, when we could finally find out a baby's gender without giving birth. So, with that, naturally and also quite unfortunately, companies use that and geared towards more gender-specific products for the sake of gender reveals. So, like everything in our life, capitalism strikes again. And then, of course, colors aren't the only thing that colors aren't the only way to show how we express ourselves. We can also use clothing, and nowadays that's actually the most common avenue for showing our like self-expression or gender expressions. And this is because clothes contain the colors which actively signal masculinity or femininity. And for the majority of the semester, you guys probably saw me wearing oversized graphic t-shirts and shorts, or if may training ako pagkatapos ng class, suot ko na kagad yung panlaro ko. So, if from that you thought that I was a bit boyish, I honestly don't blame you because that was how I chose to present myself that day. However, that doesn't mean that I should be diminished to just that one version of myself. Because honestly, I'm still capable of dressing like this while also being comfortable enough to dress in oversized clothing. And so I think that it also shouldn't come as a surprise that people are capable of that kind of contrasting displays. So every time I dress in a girly way or I want to wear makeup, a lot of my friends or people that know my tendency of wearing boyish clothes actually joke about like, sino ka? Or ikaw ba yan, Erin? And to that I say, yes, because why can't it be me? Is it really that hard to believe that a person who can wear baggy clothing can also want to be pretty sometimes, want to feel pretty sometimes too? And honestly, I know like it can be a bit confusing and the ideas kind of clash because the ideas are actually paradoxical. Because on one hand, I'm telling you that clothes don't have gender, but on the other hand, I'm wearing this because this for me is something feminine and I wanted to feel feminine today. But actually, these two ideas are not mutually exclusive. It is our perceptions of these fabrics that give them meaning. So if you want to wear clothes in their conventional gender way, that's okay. But if you want to shake things up a little, that's okay too. So I think we should all dress in a way that makes us feel happy and what feels right for us. And for me, what makes me feel happy is being able to dress how I feel. And if that means that I feel today I'm gonna be a bit boyish or today I feel a bit girly, and that being able to do that while still knowing my truth that I'm a girl is what makes me happy. But if you want to explore and experiment with your style, that's okay too. Because honestly, I'm still experimenting. I wouldn't really call myself kikay right now, although I look the part. If you ask me to pose for like a selfie, I'd probably go like this. So, yeah, it's okay to experiment. But we should always remember that we can be all of these things without having to conform to one single identity or profile. So, with that, we cannot be reduced to just one definition of ourselves. So the same Erin that likes to wear oversized graphic tees and cargo pants is the same Erin that likes the color pink or likes to wear dresses and makeup. And just because I like those things now and I embrace it now doesn't mean that I'm not like the same person that likes the color blue. Or basically, we can venture into new things without having to deny our past or our different versions of ourselves. So to this day, I am not ashamed of the little girl that dressed up as Captain America. Because that was me, and it still is me. And actually, all of this is me. I'm an athlete, I'm a bit rowdy as a girl, but I also like the color pink, and I dress like that. So, to end my speech, I would like to leave you guys with a message. People are like stained glass windows. Throughout the day, the light changes and it shines differently through the glass window. But even when the colors change or the figures that are formed on the ground with the reflection change, at the end of the day, it's all still you. And that's all. Thank you.